Welcome to We're on ECMO, an educational series for the ECMO community. Joining me today is Jamie Jarzenbowski, RN and ECMO coordinator at Tristar Centennial Medical Center in Nashville, Tennessee. Thanks for joining me today, Jamie.
Thank you so much for having me, Neil.
I appreciate you being here. And Jamie, you and your team at Centennial recently opened a dedicated ECMO unit at Centennial. And so my question for you today is why did your team go about that dedicated unit, and how did you go about it?
So the dedicated unit has been a long time coming. I think a lot of our ECMO peeps kind of had this vision for it, and it's taken us a while to get there. So September 1st last year, we opened a dedicated unit, and we kind of came to the ability to do it based off of a lot of physician support. So our medical director, Elliot Cohen, and then our head of heart failure, Tom McCrae, both kind of worked together and pushed hard for it because they understand the need. The dedicated unit is there because ECMO patients are such a specialized population of people that a lot of administration and even managers and staff that don't do ECMO think ECMO is just another pump.
Sure.
It's just another device we use like CRRT, and not realizing everything that goes on with it, and the troubleshooting that you need, and how when things go bad, they go bad really fast and they go really bad. And so having that specialized team to take care of these patients, our team just felt we have a lot of passion for it, and we just felt it was very important. And so we pushed hard. There was a lot of meetings with admin, a lot of paperwork, a lot of explanations, and trying to make people understand the purpose behind it. Unfortunately, when it comes to hospital administration, it's always, what are we going to get out of it? And so one of the big things that we pushed, especially in a post-COVID world, is that having a dedicated ECMO unit gives us the ability to never have to turn down an ECMO patient.
Sure.
We have a unit with dedicated beds. It's not going to rely on how many surgeries do we have that day, or how many other respiratory or med-surg ICU patients do we have. You have a dedicated unit, so you have these beds set aside for these patients. And then when you have dedicated staff for that, you always have the ability to take another patient. And I think that was our big push, is that we don't want to turn these patients away because this isn't something that every hospital can do.
Right.
And we pride ourselves on being great at ECMO.
Sure. Absolutely.
I think we have a great team, from physicians all the way down to our nursing staff. They all work together very well. The different specialties work together very well, which is something that I'm not used to as a nurse. Usually there's a battle between, cardiology and surgery and intensivists and pulmonologists. And our team works together great. And so, being able to have that unit where everyone can kind of come together and put their focus on these patients, I think was our top priority.
That's awesome. Yeah, I read in an article online, it was from a while back, but it was from your medical director, Dr. Cohen, and he was talking about ECMO, and he said that there's still this idea around that a lot of physicians, that ECMO is a last-ditch effort for dying people, but in order for this to really work, we have to get patients on it very early before cardiac failure leads to a lack of perfusion and keeps patients from recovering. We have a window where the organs start to fail, but we can still reestablish blood flow to get them back. So what part of that, like the philosophy around ECMO, do you think kind of dictated this direction to the dedicated unit?
I mean, I think that idea is what pushed all of us. Like I said, the ECMO unit gives us the ability to take those patients. We're not waiting for them, but it also allowed us to go out and put that education out there. We do a lot of outreach with smaller facilities or places that just don't know anything about ECMO. Sorry.
No problem.
And kind of explain, I think there's, like he said, this idea that the patient has to be dying before you even think about putting them on ECMO.
Right.
When we all know that the sooner you can get them on, the better. And so it's led to a lot of education. We've been going out to the smaller, community hospitals, hospitals that, just don't see this patient population. I think cardiogenic shock is a hugely underdiagnosed
Mm-hmm.
group of people, especially, the push that elevated lactate means they're septic.
Mm-hmm.
So really getting the education out there that doesn't necessarily mean sepsis, that your
Mm-hmm.
patient could be in heart failure, and getting the education out as to like, what are the signs that we're moving in the direction that maybe we're not supporting them enough. You don't want to get the patient that's maxed on 4 pressors with a map of 45 that's just about to code
Mm-hmm.
before putting them on. So it allowed us to really go out, give the education out there, and get the idea into the community of what ECMO is, how it can help. We started last year. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it any sooner because of COVID, but
Mm-hmm.
last year we had our ECMO survivors reunion.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do another one this year. But basically bringing those patients that we've saved and bringing them back,
Mm-hmm.
and, letting everyone see kind of these patients that we all thought were dying,
Yeah.
that are living their normal lives.
Yeah.
And I think that really helps, not just for physicians, but for administration too, to see that there is a huge need for this. And you have to support that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know, there's a lot of talk about how we're just seeing, just the bare minimum of people actually that need ECMO receiving ECMO.
Right.
So dedicated units like this that are working with other smaller regional facilities to be able to offer this to patients. I know that that's a really needed thing, and I appreciate what you guys are doing, especially since we're down the road just a little
Yeah.
bit. Having you in Nashville, means a lot for our community and the surrounding communities. So I'm glad you guys are there and are working towards that. And I'm I think I heard your kind of mission a little bit was this idea that you guys are committed to improving human life just in general, and I think that resonates really well with what we do at ECMO Advantage, and this idea that like we just don't want to see people survive ECMO.
Right.
We want to see people thrive after ECMO.
Right.
And I think programs like yours and the education that you're offering, the ability for people to send folks there, receive that treatment in very well managed hands, is a great thing. And we really want to see, better patient care and better patient outcomes across
Absolutely.
the board. So thank you so much for taking the time to share with us about your program and how you guys are doing and what you're doing. And we wish you the best of luck. If you have questions that you would like to see answered by an ECMO professional, please email me, Neil, at ecmoadvantage.com. Have a great day.
Thank you.